When Sky interviewed Mohamed Salah and Andy Robertson on the Anfield pitch on Sunday, an unexpected name came up. Salah and Robertson were bringing the curtain down on nearly a decade really, of glory at Liverpool, and the Scot was keen to pay tribute to two others who were also waving goodbye to their clubs. Given the rivalry in Jurgen Klopp's time, it was no surprise that Manchester City boss Pep Guardiola was mentioned, but he also praised the impact of Séamus Coleman of Everton and Ireland. Robertson is often talked as one of Liverpool's biggest value signings, but he pointed out that Coleman, who famously cost 60 grand as Everton fans sang, was a massive bargain too. Rewind to the bleak COVID era and something that Jordan Henderson, the then Liverpool captain, had to say. He was to the fore in organising other Premier League players in raising funds for NHS workers, and he said that one man in particular was a great help to him, Séamus Coleman. Go back to 2022 when Everton were teetering on the brink of relegation. After they secured the Premier League status on the second last day of the season, Frank Lampard, the then manager, was keen to pay tribute to one man. The TV cameras were allowed into the dressing room after a memorable game where Everton came from 2-0 down to beat Crystal Palace at Goodison Park. Lampard was talking to his players and looked around him, looking for one man in particular. Coleman was sitting quietly in the corner, just taking it all in. Lampard spotted his man and pulled Coleman to his feet before hugging him warmly. "This fella is one of the best people I've ever met," he announced to the room. Later in an interview with Everton TV, Lampard expanded on what he was meant. "On day one in this job, Séamus came to me and sat in my office and was honest about the club," said Lampard. "Things that will remain private, but he was honest about the situation and the size of the situation. I could see straight away the burden Séamus was carrying, in a good way, because he cares so much and he just wanted to change it. From then on, after those words, his actions have been something else. Speaking, training, standards every day, performances in games." Roy Keane is notoriously hard to please, and he's often fond of dismissing players who haven't got medals to their name. Coleman never won a single medal in 17 years as a professional with Everton, and he didn't even play in the final at that time. But Keane has a huge amount of time from their time working together with Ireland, when Keane was assistant manager to Martin O'Neill. The amount of managers with Everton and Ireland who've made Coleman captain or kept him as captain goes into double figures. That says a hell of a lot too. This could be his last week as a professional footballer. He is committed to Ireland's 2 friendlies over the next few days, but after that he says he'll consider his future. As time with Everton has come to a close, and Coleman will be 38 in October, he has played very little at club level in the last 2 years. But the carrot of potentially playing for Ireland at a home European Championship in 2028, that is significant. It's only 9 months since Heimir Hallgrímsson left Coleman out of an Ireland squad. He knows now that was a big mistake, and he wants him to play on. Ireland's improvement to Coleman's return was no coincidence. I wouldn't pretend to know Séamus Coleman. I've talked to him briefly on just a couple of occasions, but I know his people and I know the places that made him. When my club, Niamh Columba of Glancolumkilla in Donegal, became senior championships in 1990, Séamus's brother Stevie stepped in for a lot of the team photos. He was like an unofficial mascot. Even though he was a Killybegs man, and we beat Killybegs in that final, Stevie's uncles, Séamus and Noel Carr, played for Glen. And Stevie would have worn the green of Ireland before his brother Séamus, winning bronze at the Special Olympics. Coleman's father Henry's from Wicklow, and his mother Maya is from Crov. Her sister Anne is Dublin legend Desi Farrell. There's also a Crov connection to the English musician Anoni. Before he took that name, he was Anthony of Anthony and the Johnsons. His full name was Anthony Hegarty, and his father came from Crov. So Crov is quite a place, and it's disputed territory too. The Kilcar ones will tell you, and often in strong terms, that it's part of their parish. But many of the best footballers to come out of Crov played for Niamh Columba of Glancolumkilla. Indeed, in that 1990 final, a third of the team were from Crov, the 3 Gaffigan brothers and the 2 Carr brothers. Crov is a remote, barren townland, a tough place that breeds tough people, There's plenty of Krav in Desi Farrell. There's plenty of Krav in Séamus Coleman. He's everything you don't expect a professional footballer to be. No bling, no all nonsense, happier on the back page rather than the front, and probably happier if he's not on any page at all. He plays down his own talent, saying that his breakthrough and subsequent rise with Everton and Ireland was down to hard work, that there were others with plenty more technical ability. There's partly true. He does undeniably have an appetite for hard graft, but he has ability too, and he got the breaks that you need too, which has always been crucial. In the early years, there was a little bit of puppy fat to him, but he paired himself into a lean-cut athlete. To tweak that great Yeats line, hollow of cheek as though he drank the wind. A fantastic Gaelic footballer too. Coleman would have been a regular for Donegal at centre-back if he hadn't concentrated on soccer. He's still to be seen at club and county matches involving Killybegs and Donegal, as well as supporting his former soccer club St Catherine's whenever he can. Crucially, his nature has been compared to that of Denis Irwin, and it's worth remembering how the Corkman's career ended. Irwin finished up with Manchester United on the final day of the 2001-02 season, a few months short of his 37th birthday. Many figured retirement on the golf course beckoned, but Irwin embraced another challenge, dropping down a division to join Wolves. What happened? He played a key role in getting them promoted and was named in the Team of the Year in the division that season. Irwin played out one final season in the Premier League with Wolves and was memorably applauded onto the pitch by the home fans when his team went to Old Trafford. Irwin was the ultimate pro, always struck the right note, on and off the pitch, led by example, never hid when the pressure was on. Séamus Coleman was a childhood and teenage Manchester United fan. He knows the worth of Denis Irwin. It's fair to say that he would have been one of his role models. And Coleman might feel there's something too to be squeezed out of his own playing career before inevitably his thoughts turn to coaching.